Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. Minnesota Vikings. I think this is gonna be my thing. I think I'm gonna be singing terribly a song every single. That would be cool. Oh wait, how does bum bum be dum bum bum be guys? Oh my gosh, I just got through with watching Lizzo's BET Awards performance. If you haven't seen that, if you're over the age of 18, you should go and see that. The reason I say that is because this viewership is very diverse. But anyway, yeah, way to go, Lizzo. Like, entertainment is back. Like, guys, I was a little fearful for the entertainment industry. It didn't seem like we were gonna have another like entertainer, and Lizzo is it. I'm just saying. But anyway, anyway, the song I was singing at the beginning was a little bit of Lizzo's "Truth Hurts," which I think is gonna be the second place to Song of the Summer after Old Town Road. It's right now number 17 on the Billboard charts, and it was recorded and released, or sorry, it was released about 2 years ago. And yeah, I'm just so excited. Like, I love seeing artists on a very slow, gradual come up, and those has been working from time. And she gives me like a little bit of what we like about Cardi B, the authenticity. And I think that's what I appreciate about her most. There's an authenticity that's there that is just undeniable, and also the breath control and the actual thought going into performances. Anyway, so shout out to Lizzo. But anyway, this is another long form podcast. This would usually be the place where I would insert the name of whatever podcast this would be. And the name of this podcast is long form podcast style video. Yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge for all of my star emoji folk. But yeah, hello everybody, it's me. I'm here another time, another day. I literally just put up my cover of Superstition with a bunch of great other musicians. Just put that up, so if you want to go and look at that, that's great. But I said to myself when I put that up, I don't know if I'm going to record this week, but I said to myself, you know what? I'm making this a weekly habit. I'm trying to get back into uploading regularly. So let's just do it, O'Neill. Just talk in front of the camera. You're not afraid of the camera. There's a lot of people that are afraid of the camera. Be grateful for where you are. Anyway, the reason why I'm doing these long podcast style videos is because I have been getting anxiety while filming, and I've been thinking about a lot of the post production and a lot of the things that go into a lot of the videos, and I decided to put all of those cares, all of those worries aside, and embrace a new style of video that will help me to transition back into creating regularly. Now actually that I'm seeing a lot more of these videos, I'm thinking that the channel is, I don't know, the channel's becoming a little bit something else. I always wanted to put my own personal spin on talking about music and talking about deep things that lead to songwriting, but it seems like this is a little bit of the avenue. I have no idea where this is gonna go, and I kind of like that aspect of it. That's how I started on YouTube, and that's how I found a lot of my rhythm and a lot of my niche, and I'm gonna continue to do that, which is awesome. But I wanted to talk to you all about something I wanted, like I'm passionate about, and something that kind of really hit me just left field. And I wanted to talk to you guys about singing snobs. Singing snobs. And I think we kind of know what I mean when I say that. But if you don't know what I mean by a singing snob, I'm gonna give you an O'Neill Gerald definition. This is o'neillgeralddictionary.com, whatever. A singing snob is somebody that makes the art of singing inaccessible to other people that want to sing. I think that's a really good definition, O'Neill. Yeah, awesome. Singing snobs can also be those artsy fartsy kids that live in the rich part of the neighborhood that have been taking classical singing lessons since they were young, and believe that their style of singing, and the people that teach them are the final authority when it comes to singing. The books that they have read are the final authority when it comes to singing, and thus they want to look down and sneer and stick their noses up at the people. Let me try that again. And stick their noses up at the people that, and I should be holding this closer to myself, at the people that do want to sing. I remember I was at church, a few years ago, and I actually, I'm a worship leader at church, for those of you that don't know, but I actually was a part of a 3-part series. I was speaking one Sunday, and one of the first things that it was a series on worship music, on worship in the church, and on my PowerPoint, one of the first, I think it was the first slide that I put in big letters, "You can sing." Yeah, you can sing. It's either the first one or it was the last one. I can't remember. And the reason why I put that there is because in my life, I have seen so many people, and this actually really grinds my gears. It makes me angry and it makes me sad at the same time. So I feel like punching a window and crying all at the same time. There's so many people that have been disqualified from the art of singing because they were told that they don't sound good, or they were told that they should, you don't quit your day job, etc., so forth. And forgive me, I'm having like a little post-nasal drip type thing that's going on. But anyway, I'm not going to say that I hate those people. Love them, God bless them, yeah, God bless them. But the chaos and the feelings that are created by saying those types of things to people is, I want to feel, it's almost like, to me, it's almost like, and this is kind of an extreme word, but it kind of gives it off. Apocalyptic in nature. It's almost as if when a person that probably is more talented, or has been studying longer, or has been singing longer, is talking to somebody else that has lesser experience, and says something detrimental, says something that is not that is not constructive, and is just downright mean. For that person's singing world, for the people that don't make it past those moments, their singing world and their singing life comes to an end. And I don't believe that anyone should ever have to see an end to their singing life. Musical, instruments that are outside of the body, like the piano or like guitar, etc., so forth, I think those are a little bit easier to give up because they are literal objects that are apart from you. But your voice is completely and utterly a part of you. And when someone says don't do something with something that is on the inside of you, like it's a literal function, in your body, it's like it can be earth-shattering. And I think, this is my personal theory, completely anecdotal and not founded on research at all. But I personally think that a lot of the reason why a lot of the world is miserable is because we don't sing. And we don't sing communally. Okay, I'll go back to the church. In churches, congregations sing together. For people that go to church, if you have friends that go to church, when they go to church on every Sunday morning, it's not just that they're listening to a preacher, etc., so forth, but they're singing together. If you have a friend that is a part of a choir, that they meet up every week, they're singing together weekly. And when you're like and I'm sorry I don't have any of the research to back any of this up, but or to cite the research, but there's research that's been done that already talks about the wonderful things that music does for your brain, and to be exposed to that weekly, to sing together with people, let alone sing alone, is very beneficial for a person's mental health as well. But to be deprived of that is absolutely cruel, insane, mean, and yeah, it's cruel. It's really cruel. Like the thing that kind of really sparked this whole thought is I was teaching somebody one day, and I felt like we were making strides, and we were doing some things, and all of a sudden this person started to tense up in their body. They started to they weren't gaining as much ground as they were before in the lesson, and they started to get really uncomfortable. And for me, I get these hunches a lot of the time, and sometimes they are my humanistic, actual, feelings, and then there's sometimes where I would say, yeah, God is speaking to me, the Holy Spirit is saying something. And I felt like both were happening at the same time, because as a vocal coach, part of my job is to read what's happening in your body and be able to feed you images, different things that will help you to jump over any obstacles that you might be having, without sending you into a spiral with a bunch of academic jargon. And in this moment, I was, speaking to, I was starting to speak to this person, and I was just, kind of leaving it, but I was kind of leaving what I was kind of picking up, and I was just, working through it, but I was able to sense, there's a little bit of tension. And I talked to them afterwards, and I decided to lean into the hunch, because I actually, I know this person outside of lessons, so I decided to take off my vocal coach hat, and put on my let's say my friend hat, and friend slash when someone's, I guess, gone a little bit further in their journey, mentor hat. I'm gonna use that word lightly. I'm gonna say mentor hat. And I was just like, and I didn't even ask a question, because I like God. I like when God is speaking, and when I don't ask a question, and it's called prophecy, for those of you that don't know, word of knowledge. You can look those words up, etc., so forth. But when I have a hunch that I know is from God, and I want to speak on it, I like to just go for it, and I don't just like to ask questions. That's a lie. Sometimes I do ask questions, but then there's sometimes when it's really, really strong, and I decide to go for it. And also, the hunches worked with the hunches that I felt I was getting from God. But at the same time, I knew a little bit in my own intuition that something was up. I was like, yeah, I think I can go for it. And I was just straight up. I was just like, I feel like there's been a time in your life when people told you that you couldn't sing, or told you things about your voice, and it's affected you, etc., so forth. And they confirmed, yeah, that's exactly how I felt. And they were telling me just a little bit about their journey, and how somebody had told them, somebody that they looked up to, said that they don't, or not that they can't sing, but had basically said some negative things, and then other experiences, etc., so forth. And I got hot, like angry hot, like extremely hot, like angry, fiercely angry, because of everything I just mentioned. People have a way, and singing snobs have a way of totally shutting down people's ability to advance in their singing and enjoy singing, and just get wrapped up in the anxiety and the fear of sounding bad. Like, oh my gosh. And the thing is it makes me angry now, but I was also a singing snob. I was thinking about, that instance, and I was thinking about how could they, be so mean and say those mean things. And I look back at my high school and middle school singing career, and I'm like, O'Neill, as much as this pisses you off, you did very much the same thing, maybe not necessarily in a direct way, but in an overbearing and know-it-all way. I think, and I know, in high school, like my elementary school career, I was such a singing snob. And I wouldn't necessarily discourage people from singing, but I would allow my knowledge, or what I felt I knew. I knew so little back then, and I pretended like I knew so much. And I would overbear and be like, oh, maybe you should sing it like this, or maybe this, or the harmony actually sounds like this. Oh, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. You're flat. I wouldn't necessarily say you're flat, but it was just very snobby. And there's actually a particular instance that I remember when I was rehearsing, and the people that are involved with this probably don't remember this, but it impacted me for one particular reason, but now I look back at it and I use it as a stepping stone and as a learning moment. My high school was doing Annie. Was this Annie, or was this You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown? I think this was Annie. And I had a friend that was conducting the show, and for the musical, it was really a step out for our school to do a musical, because doing musicals means you need people to be singing. And I was a stronger singer. I was in the band, and we didn't have a vocal program, but I sang, and so like that, and so I sang. There's other people that sang, but mind you, for people that were in the cast, there were different strengths that other people had, etc., so forth. And the year prior, I was Charlie Brown in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And I think I'm gonna, yes, let's fully uncover. I was Charlie Brown in my 11th grade year, and then the next year, we were doing Annie. I thought I was gonna get Mr. Warbucks. I didn't get Mr. Warbucks. I got Bert Healy, which is a much smaller part. And I think I was kind of monopolizing actually, and in fact I know I was monopolizing on trying to get all the nice parts, because I knew I could sing. But fast forward, we're working on the show, and we're doing some singing. I'm doing a background part, and we're trying to get through a passage, and my friend, who's the conductor, mind you, I'm not the conductor, but my friend is, and we're supposed to be listening to him, and he's trying to coach somebody on what their part is supposed to be, and I make a suggestion to be like, you know what? Maybe you should sing it like this, blah, 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 blah. And the person snaps back at me and says, I can't remember exactly what they said, but it was something to the extent of, maybe if you would just shut up, maybe we can actually get through this. Now, it took everything in me to not want to knock the living daylights out of whoever it was. And I felt like and with the thing with with that is like, man, woman, boy, or girl, there always comes like, and especially for me, because I can be a little bit defensive, there always comes especially when someone comes for me, I just want to go start swinging. I just want to start swinging. And this actually was a girl, and and I still felt the heat. I was just like, how could you say that? And the thing is, I'm not really good at comebacks either, so I just stood there, took the heat. I'm just like, there's no way I'm punching a girl, and there's no way I'm gonna make this into a huge thing. So I just shut up. And so looking back on that instance, and my friend hadn't said anything actually. He actually went on, and he's actually a really great musician now. But I would look back on that instance for years, and I would always think, I was so wronged, and oh my gosh, I was so wronged, and they shouldn't have said that, and blah 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 blah. And I look at my 27-year-old self is now looking back on my 17-year-old self, and I'm like, yo, O'Neal, you were way out of line. Like, who asked you, first of all, O'Neal? Who asked you for information, firstly? And secondly, the conductor is right there. Why are you overstepping like that? You're being a singing snob. And even if my heart was truly to help and not to just demonstrate my knowledge, I truly think that my heart was to demonstrate my own knowledge, because I can kind of, and I think everybody is a little bit proud and struggles with a little bit of pride. But even if I wasn't trying to demonstrate my knowledge and I wanted to help, that wasn't my job. My job was a background role, and I needed to play my background role. And okay, let me just, I need to fix this. But I needed to play my background role. I didn't need to add my 2 cents to everything and anything that was that was happening. Nah, it wasn't needed. I was being a singing snob, and I was using my knowledge to not just overbear my friend that was singing and was learning the part. And actually, I believe it was another person I was helping, and then trying to help, and then another one of my friends said that to me, and so I wasn't only shutting down this person's abilities and making their flaws a lot more exposed instead of covering them and being a supportive person, but I was also working against the group. I was working against the group. Why? Because the person that's conducting is over there, and I'm overstepping my boundaries. And so I think about the singing snob thing, and I'm like, I don't think it's singing snobs. Mind you, listen. I was gonna listen, because with these things I always try to be balanced, and I always try to say, and I try to go and look for, like, maybe the singing snobs are just hurt or something, and they just need love and blah blah blah. But listen, a singing snob is a singing snob, and unless a singing snob can see their own snobbiness and change that quick time, then unless they can see it, they're going to continue to be a detriment to the singing lives of the people that are around them. They're going to make amazing music, but the people that they make music with, or the people that will be stepped on in the process to get to great music, it won't be worth it. One concert, one show isn't worth stepping on other people's singing lives just because you know more. Sit down. Be humble. Anyway, and I guess, oh my gosh, have I been peeking this entire time, Lord? Oh my gosh, I'm probably peeking this time, guys. I must apologize. I'm probably peeking, but anyway, I ain't gonna worry about it. And the reason why I'm passionate about this is because this is so close to my singing philosophy. It's like the reason why I teach is so close to this issue, because I believe that everybody should sing. I believe that regardless of how people sound, everybody should have a singing life, and everyone should be given the grace, or be given the opportunity to have a singing life. And being a snob, and listen, I didn't even get to YouTube. The amount of comments that I see of people, and these are commenters, and no, not so much YouTubers, but rather singing videos, vocal range videos sometimes. The amount of people that I see that are hiding behind a profile picture that's of something else other than their own face, and they are taking the time to pick away and to discourage singers just because they had a bad performance, or just because they might be struggling in their vocal life a little bit. I can't stand it. And I'm not even going to say names of artists that I've seen this for, but y'all, we need to do better. And this is for this singing community, because a lot of us are singers. This channel is going to be evolving to not just singers, but songwriters as well. But for this community of singers, and this community of musical analysts, connoisseurs, people that study music, that listen to music and analyze, guys, these people have real lives. And there needs to be a law of kindness that hops on our mouths when we talk about these people, or hops on our fingers, because a lot of us are doing the talking behind Twitter and behind YouTube comments. Singing snobs don't help the world sing. And I think that's the reason why we have singing snobs. Because singing snobs don't want the world to sing. They just want to sing, and they want everybody that sings to sound the way that they want them to. But if we want a world that is filled with song and a world that is filled with music, we need to learn how to be humble. Those of us that know more need to learn how to sit back and how to encourage people in singing and constructively criticize and not just dig at people. And that's music teachers as well, etc., so forth, all of us. And we also need to let people sound the way they sound sometimes, and not try to monopolize and manipulate and what's the word? Maybe monopoly is the word. I guess monopoly is the word today. But anyway, but to monopolize the world of singing and be like, everything must sound the way I want it to sound. Everything must sound the way I want it to sound. And then there are people that believe that you should read a whole bunch of books before you start singing seriously. I firmly disagree with that. I think that you should just simply start to sing. If you've never sung before and you're watching this video, go find your favorite song and sing to it, and don't look at other people and what they're saying, etc., so forth. I believe that people should be singing down the streets. I believe that people should sing in subways. I believe that people should sing everywhere. We need to do better as teachers. We need to do better as musicians. And we need to be much more patient with the people that are still on the come up. And I also think that there needs to be room in the art of singing, especially because your voice is a part of you. I think there needs to be room in singing for people to sing for its enjoyment. And we shouldn't let the idol, am I going to use the word idol? Yes. The idol of musical perfection and excellence to step over people. Anywho, I had a whole bunch of things that happened with my computer, but God blocked it. Anyway, as usual, as is custom now, if you made it to the end of this video, I'm letting you know that this is going to become let's just say it. This is going to become a podcast. And actually, I'm going to share the name with you. The name of the podcast will be The Brave Blueberry. The reason I'm calling it that is simply because I want to, because blueberries are very small, tender, but full of substance, yet fragile and vulnerable. And that kind of is the vulnerable side of me. And the brave part is just, being brave in spite of that sensitivity to the world. So yeah, it'll be mainly it'll be an extension of this channel and much more focused on me. So it won't necessarily be about music all the time like these videos have been. But yeah, it will still be a fun time. So I encourage you to still come on out. Anywho, I'm going to sign off and delete some things off my computer because that thing almost shut down. But anyway, love you guys. Okay, bye everybody.